You. I am looking to speak with our buddy Brad Winstrip, Second District.
Winstrip. All right. No problem. You take care, okay?
Hey, thank you very much.
No problem. No problem.
Hey ho, YouTubers. 7th of May, 24.
Congressman Winstrip's office. This is Christopher. I'm going to be of assistance.
Hey, Chris, how are you today?
I'm doing well, sir. How about yourself?
So far, so bad. Horrible, actually. We're still not happy.
Well, what can I do for you, sir?
Well, first of all, I was wanting to see if Brad, where he decided that he's going to let we the people know where he's going to be addressing the questions that we here of the 2nd District of Ohio, where he's going to be posting or doing that at. Is he going to be doing that on the bradhouse.org or gov, or where's he doing that at?
You were looking for where we kind of post our press releases and all that good stuff?
No. I'd actually put in a few of us had put in an order that we want him to. This was already supposed to happen. I'm just calling to see if he responded or when he's going to respond back to. We want him to give sort of like an address to the 2nd District, the people he's supposed to be representing here in Ohio, which one of them's me. So we the people. Noam, you're in on that too, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Gotcha. I can certainly check on that for you. I'm not sure anything has been set in stone as of right now.
All right, Chris. Hey, this kind of, I know that he's been busy with the COVID thing, and we think he's doing an okay job so far, and we're glad that he's doing that. But it's really not making any sense yet. Where he got, seen where he had closed down his inquiry or his special counsel thing, and he talked to Cuomo from New York and stuff. So we're just kind of curious to what became of it. I mean, now that we know.
Oh, gotcha. Well, from the personal office, we don't necessarily handle the exact findings that come out of the select subcommittee, but I can definitely tell you that they are not done with their work yet. They are planning on posting final reports towards the end of the Congress, but they're still working their way up to that. They've still got people to bring in for public hearings and all that good stuff. So, when that does come out officially, we will absolutely push that out for everyone to see. We think it's really important, but they aren't entirely finished yet.
Okay, well, on here then, YouTube, when I say on here is what I'm referring to, it actually showed where he was they was done with that special inquiry or what have you. And right now we're actually looking at him now on my channel here. Brad is on Fox News here, and FBI director testifies amid House FISA fight, So I don't know if you remember when he was on Fox a couple weeks ago or not, but anyway, Brad was. But, there's so much money that we had spent and they lied to us. And see, here's the big problem. When we say they, that's such a broad word right there, because who are they? Now he's over in China and investigating the Wuhan and all this stuff, but we know that this was funded and created by Fauci and this other bonehead that Brad had question and stuff. I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, you're referring to EcoHealth Alliance President Dr. Peter Daszak?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had him in for a public hearing last week.
Right. Okay. And all this is good, but but then you have people like myself who was directly affected by what we wasn't protected from. And now, which is something that all of us that has two brain cells, we already knew that this was created. We knew that this was nothing that come out of nature. Nature doesn't run that fast. Not with something like this. And then for them to put out all the jab and stuff like that, mandatory and everything. Well, if something's genuinely for real and helping you and stuff, you don't have to make somebody do it. I mean, once somebody next to you does something and you see that it works, everybody's like, hey, let me have some of that. It's like God. It's like the Bible, Like if something works and something's good, everybody that's normal and decent should want that, But I'm affected in more ways than one. Health-wise, first and foremost. So the government failed me. And second of all, financially. Because once they unleashed this demonic garbage that was created by the government on me, and it physically damaged me. And I was told whenever I went to the hospital and stuff that if I had this vid, that it would be paid for. And it wasn't. So now I have $30,000 worth of debt to the hospital, which I can't really blame somebody for wanting paid for something that they done. But the whole reason why that I even done that is because the government assured me that and at the time they wasn't saying it, but right now I would like for Brad, actually I wouldn't just like for him to, I really, really want him to do this. But he needs to get those out there that created all this. Now that we genuinely have facts and everything and evidence to prove that this actually happened, to make them pay for what has happened to so many of us.
Okay, and just to clarify, you mean when you say make them pay, you mean pay bills, not like serve?
No. I mean across the board, and that's a good point, Chris. Very good. Because I'm glad that you said that, because you're so right. They should not have to. See, when you say pay, they should have to pay. You're right. That's kind of one of them broad words also. But you're right. They should have to be brought in and absolutely, exposed for what they've done and what they are, in front of everybody. Not hidden away. Usually, like, see, Brad, he's holding all these hearings and all this stuff, and you can pull it up and you can watch, on YouTube or anywhere, wherever you choose to watch from, or on your computer. But these guys here, they hide like roaches, like liberals usually do, Democrats. So we want to see them being brought out into light, into the public, and actually see what happens to them. Because if you think about that, if you just think about the financial part of it, if someone owes the government, how long can you owe the government before the government comes after you? You get hit with all kinds of stuff like you better respond to this. We're only going to give you so many days to get this paid, so on and so forth. And let me ask you this. If somebody owes you, and then you see those very people that owe you and they're running around and they're spending money like it's no big deal whatsoever, like there's a never-ending stream of it, currency, money, whatever. The currency is what we happen to be using. What do? You're just like, oh, well, that's okay. No big deal. No, absolutely not. So I see them throwing $95 billion, and then before that it was $1.3 trillion. And then the time before that and the time before that. I mean, it's numbers that we, the people out here, is like, we never deal with numbers that big. And you know what? It's crazy to even try to go after it and figure out where that money goes to. And the reason why it's crazy is it's not hard to figure out whatsoever when you see these people spending millions of dollars to take up a job, and I'm talking about a government job that only pays, listen, $175,000 a year. Why do you do that? Because there's power involved there. And when I say power, that translates back over into cash. We know why they're doing it. And there are so many problems right now that we have. And once again, let me tell you, you can actually tell Brad this. I don't think I've ever sent him a positive message, but I'm going to send him. He's doing good on like chasing that down and pulling old Cuomo in and questioning these guys and getting them to at least sit there and face the public a little bit. But there is so much more. I mean, I don't. He doesn't have any time to rest right now, and I hope he's not resting well. And I don't mean that as in that he can't sleep. I mean, I hope that he's so busy because we have so many problems right now. I don't want any of you sleeping. You guys ain't got time to sleep. I mean, if I'm not sleeping and I'm not even getting paid for it, matter of fact, y'all are costing me. You all, the damn government has costed not only me, but I don't know how many people, not just our health, but our families' lives. And do you think, right now, Chris, what do you think the overwhelming, the 100% of all of us out here are saying? Do you think it's positive? When somebody says government, do you think it's a positive thing whenever we say that?
Generally speaking, I would say no.
Generally, 100% across the board. Chris, there's nobody, absolutely nobody that I talk to that says anything positive. Do you know what the most positive thing, just headed towards the most positive thing that we talk about is? Can't wait to get to November because everybody wants this nightmare to end. And I got news for everybody. This nightmare doesn't end November because they're already saying no matter what, if Donald Trump loses, which we know better because he didn't in the 2020. He didn't. We know better than that. Because if somebody is to tell me that they believe that was across the board a genuine election, I don't even want to talk to them. If they're that, I don't even want to speak to those kind of people. Because they're not people, first of all. They're brainless problems is what they are. They're liberals. But they're already saying that if Trump doesn't get it or whatever, and this was what's her name? Maxine Waters. She said that there's Republicans in the hills preparing for if Trump loses. This is Maxine Waters. You can look that up.
Yeah, I saw that, sir.
Oh, okay. There you go. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I mean, you talk about absolutely crazy. But here's why that we know that he's not going to lose. There are so many people right now, myself being included in this, that we are watching so closely, and we are putting so many things in place just to make sure that if somebody puts down, or if they say that they voted for this person or whatever, and I'm here to tell you, if it's above board, which we know that the last one was not, because how can you just simply ask to see something like, let's do a recount, and for them to sue and to go lawyer up and all that stuff, just to keep us, we the people, from seeing what we should have been able to see. It never in history was it ever shut down like that before. What I need to do, Chris, is I actually need to put back on the channel the events that actually happened back then, when they all of a sudden at midnight closed everything up, threw a bunch of cardboard on the windows. This was just one place, but they put all the cardboard up and everything so that the people viewing just from the outside, they threw everybody out first of all, and then put up cardboard. Now, why would you do that? Why would you do that? If you're just in there doing your job, like running these through and everything, why would you block the windows and stuff? If to say it doesn't make any sense, that no longer fits here. It makes perfect sense. They didn't want us to see how and exactly what it was that they was doing. But they forgot about certain cameras from previous renters of the space that left cameras in there that was still running, and they happened to stumble across them, and that's how we found out when they started pulling things out from underneath tables that was covered up and stuff, So we know that was a complete conspiracy, and or not conspiracy, but a sham of a people picking process. So we have to, all of us have to make sure that this time that it's done straight up by the book, and it's going to. We have to. If we don't, we're done, because now they're going after the Bible. And have you heard, Chris, about all the new flags that's popping up?
I'm not sure what you'd be referring to. I might have seen it, but could you give me a little bit more detail?
Sure, absolutely. Matter of fact, give me just a second here. Let me find this here. Here we go.
Approved a new flag or have proposed a new flag.
Hold on. Can you hear this?
Them with the 8-point star. Now, one of those new flags includes the Minnesota state flag, which is actually set to be unveiled very soon on May 11th.
Okay, so you have all these new flags popping up. Now, what's up with all these new flags? Also, are you aware of this vote that they had about that you can't even argue about what had happened during 9/11? Did you see that? Where they actually passed a bill or something on that?
Okay.
Where you can't dispute what happened 9/11? Did you see that?
Yeah, I believe I know what you're referring to there, yes.
Okay. That is beyond insane. I mean, it's right up there with what's, insanity. Let's see. There has to be a better word for insanity, demonic. Oh yeah, liberal. This is absolutely crazy that they have a bill passed that they voted on to see that says that you're not even allowed to dispute what happened on 9/11. And you seen that?
Yeah, I'm assuming this is part of that, the bill, the resolution I was talking about, like, the definition of anti-Semitism. Is that correct?
No, this is a bill that they was
I can look it up.
that they had passed or put in there to vote on or whatever, but just the fact that they put it in there saying that you couldn't dispute anything that was said other than the way they said 9/11 was, is absolutely crazy. And this was done when was that? No, last week?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was. But anytime that they're saying that you can't dispute something, I mean, that's freedom of speech that they're trying to do away with. But I got news for them, they can't do that. Now on YouBoob here, they're getting by with it because YouBoob here is a private thing or whatever. So if you're on here like I am or whatever, but you with the understanding that it's private, so they kind of. But are they really private if they worked with the government? That kind of makes them, that needs to be looked at and investigated. Which, matter of fact, I think that's happening now, isn't it, Chris?
Sorry, could you repeat that last part for me?
Yeah. Who is it that's involved with actually right now? I can't remember if it's Ted Cruz or who all's looking in to like YouTube and Facebook and all of them, because, and especially Twitter during all this, that they was working with. See, so if you have a private company and they're private and they say, well, we're private, we don't do government stuff. Okay, that's fine. But whenever there's a private company and then they start doing business with the government, by default, that makes them no longer a private company. It makes them, I can't think of the word of it right now. But then they're no longer private. Then when they start working with somebody that we're paying, if they're working, by default, they bring in taxpayers' money, our money. And then, so if they're like shutting down somebody's views, or if they're changing something, or like whenever they kick Trump off of, all of the media outlets and stuff, and was suppressing stuff. You couldn't talk about certain things because they had government officials call them and tell, or emails and stuff like that, which now we're finding out more and more about the emails, so on and so forth. Oh, here's another thing also. This needs to be sent to Brad ASAP right along with this message. We don't want any more fake garbage meat. It's not even meat. It should slime. The meat slime that Bill Gates is pushing on everybody. The very guy that wants to unpopulate the world. Population control. Yeah, this guy, somebody's going to eat anything that this dude puts out, like the Impossible Burger from Burger King or what have you. Made out of plants or what have you, supposedly. See, now scientists and everybody is saying how absolutely horrible this is. And just so you know, Ron DeSantis down in Florida, okay, he's still managing to do a few good things. He kind of sold out to the richer people or whatever, but he's got time. He can still turn people around or whatever, because he does some pretty good things, but he does some really dumb things all at the same time. But one of them that he just did that's pretty good, it's really good, is that he banned the Bill Gates slime meat. Was you aware of that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, so we want to make sure that Brad gets heavily involved with that, and also we have back to this flag here real quick though. We don't want no other flags. We know that the mainstream media is controlled by Jews, and there's nothing wrong with Jews across the board as Jesus' chosen people. We get all that. There is nobody hating on Jews. What we are haters of, we are haters of people that do bad things. So if you had a Jewish person, let's say Jesus, and he was a wonderful, amazing human being here on earth, that was God on earth. Okay, and then you have the Jews, the ones that said, free Barabbas. Go ahead and do away with Jesus. Okay, well, that was a Jew that did that too. Because they wanted to let Barabbas go, which was a known murderer and everything else, but they wanted to slay God himself, which they did. So nobody's against one nationality or anything like that. We just don't like bad people. Like if you're talking about unaliving God's creation, nope, ain't having it. Roe v. Wade got overturned and all that stuff, But yet, then they could just jump in their car, drive across the line to another state or something like that, and still get the deed done. Sad. Was it good that it was overturned? Absolutely. But when you look behind you and there's a whole slew of bodies laying behind you, how can you jump up and down and celebrate? Especially when you turn back around and you look and there's people like, oh, there's a little bump in the road here. We'll just go around it. So they go to the next state or whatever. So that's not a win. And anybody that has a problem figuring out where life begins, again, don't have two damn brain cells to rub together. Oh, just so everybody knows, I am what you call a Christian nationalist. Yep. I will take you out in the name of the Lord. That's how I am. Because that's what the Bible says. Actually, that's not what the Bible says. The Bible does not say it, but that's what everybody is labeling us as. So I'm a proud Christian nationalist. How about you know?
Yep.
So, but these flags, we need for Brad to make sure that he gets a handle on these here for sure. And, we only want one flag. Now, I mean, you can have any flag that you want to, but don't be claiming them, as a first and foremost over it. But to get back to this, if you have, what a horrible thing that was that happened, the Holocaust and all that stuff. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. I mean, but you know what? Just like with slavery, the smarter people that had two brain cells figured out, it's like, hey, wait, that's wrong, and we're going to fight to correct that. And who was we fighting against? We was fighting against the bad people. And I'll guarantee you, the very Christian nationalists that all these people are labeling Christian nationalists and how bad that we are, were and are the very ones who went in and made those bad people stop doing that stuff. Because there was whites that was slaves, there was blacks that was slaves, there was purple that was slaves. Everybody that you can think of at once upon a time, had slaves behind them. And still to this day. So, we're just tired of, one word not being able to differentiate good from bad. And what I mean by that is the government. See, because a lot of people say, well, the government can be good for certain things, but it also, not just, forget the word can, but it is a bad thing. And unfortunately, every one of us out here believe that 99.99% of government is bad. And that's horrible numbers. I mean, that's extreme horrible numbers. But I want to go to something else. We have Dr. Phil is actually on here talking about China's economic takeover of America. Who owns our lands and stuff? This is ridiculous that China can even buy one fraction of one of our weeds. You know what I mean? Now, if we sell them our corn after it's growed or something like that, that's not what I'm talking about. That's fine. But whenever they're coming over here and they're buying up strategic properties that's right next to, or any of it. It doesn't make any difference. It don't make any difference. So I take that back. I'm going to correct that. They have no business with even 1 little inch of our property at all. These companies are way too big. Monsanto's, that is a chemical company. Roundup. Okay, why are they buying so many food companies? I want you to think about this, everybody. If you are a chemical company and you've got these chemicals, endless supply that you can create or whatever, endlessly, and as much as you want, you got to have a place to put those chemicals, right? Well, there's only so many things or so many places you can go, so you finally hit like a limit. Like, okay, you can't sell any more because, if this chemical is used for, just killing driveway weeds or something like that, there's only so many driveways, and you hit a ceiling. You can't go anymore. So what do? You buy up food companies and say, hey, let's add a little sprinkle of this chemical in there. Nah, nobody will even notice. We'll add a little, over here. And that's literally what they're doing. And you would not believe the food companies that Monsanto's owns. I mean, you literally have a poison chemical company buying food companies. But here's the thing. Is food anymore once you sprinkle a little poison in it? Not for me. That makes it all poison. And right now there are so many people that are absolutely abandoning buying anything from a store. And right here is one by Gnome. I already know Gnome. Gnome does it. Amy's another one. As very little as we possibly stay away from the stores and stuff because we know genuinely they are trying to poison us. Just like, let's get to the border here. With all of these invaders coming in, look, Biden, the old slug himself said it. Imagine a continuous, never-ending stream of immigrants. He called them immigrants. Okay, well, we don't have to imagine that now, do we? Now we can see. How well are you liking your country right now? Chris, how well are you liking your country right now? Everything going good for you?
Well, I think I like many Americans, many Ohioans have a lot of issues. But, sir, I will say I can't really speak on my views just with,
I know. It was...
office. I apologize for that. But
well, no, don't apologize for that because we already know that you guys have zippers on your face when it comes to certain things, But we got our buddy Charles and our buddy Jake. We talk and they say the same thing. But and when I say we, I mean me and the subscribers, all of us can tell that you guys are with us, and that's why we keep calling in and talking to you and stuff, is because you guys are in there doing a great job, and we appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you, sir.
Well, being a human answering machine is not easy. You got to put up, and especially when you hear people like Democrats and liberals and stuff that's whining. Oh, wait a minute! I bet they don't call in very much.
You'd be surprised, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
How many calls did we get today? Just I'm not talking. I mean, just cross the board. How many calls come in there today?
Oh, I don't know. If I'm going to be honest, sir, I typically don't pick up the phone calls. Jake was on another call, so I was able to grab yours while he was chatting with someone else. So I wouldn't be able to give you a firm number. I mean, I can see if Jake's available if you wanted to chat with him about that. But
you tell Jake I figured him out. What he did is he seen me call and he was like, "Hey, come here, Chris, take this call." Yeah. So Jake's kind of your over dude in there, right? He's above you.
Not necessarily. No, I just he's the one who picks up the first call, and then from there
Yeah, that was a really smooth way of you trying to pawn me off on my buddy Jake. Nope, you're in for the ride here for just a little bit longer. I won't keep you too much longer. But I wanted to ask you to take this message too. We want to know how come that he's not, we need for him to get this snake Mike Johnson out of there. Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene last week, she was gung-ho with Thomas Massie to get Mike Johnson out. And I'm telling you, everybody I know was right on board. We was like, yeah, get that piece of garbage out of there. That dude's just fake. Somebody described him as a lost ball in high weeds. I think that was... I think that was Thomas Massie that said that. Said that Mike Johnson is like a lost ball in the high grass and weeds that so fits. But at the same time, I don't think it's quite accurate. And the reason why I say that it's not as accurate is because, if somebody's going to be a mole, a plant, a put on, a rhino, a turncoat, a treasonous piece of garbage, you don't go in and the first thing you do is start doing bad stuff. So all of them was like asking questions. They was like, how does Matt Gaetz, because I want to know Matt Gaetz' opinion, and I actually have him pulled up here because I was really, really curious. I was like, well, Matt Gaetz, buddy, he was singing Mike Johnson, because I never even heard of Mike Johnson until he come along for Speaker of the Mouse there, And out of nowhere, here comes... So I started watching Matt Gaetz, because usually Matt Gaetz straight up across the board tells you how it is. And he was singing all about Mike Johnson, how good he was and everything. And now this Mike Johnson is wanting to share a gavel with the Liberalcrats. I don't know if you've seen that or not. But they have pictures of him holding the gavel with the Democrat leader, whatever he does over there. And but Matt Gaetz, he come out and he said, well, we're kind of wondering why it is that Mike Johnson pretended to be, or why, no, he said he wants the old Mike Johnson back before such and such a date. Because Mike Johnson was acting like and looking like he was doing the right thing. And he was. And then all of a sudden, he starts not only shaking hands, but hugging. Matter of fact, let's just show this. It shows him hugging this other guy.
The cost of living
and I don't really,
still skyrocketing.
I don't remember what...
Dangerously wide open. Typical politicians have failed us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again, Chris.
The photo that was taken after Mike Johnson won the speakership, I believe it's of Hakeem Jeffries, handing over the gavel to him after he was, I forget what they technically did, swear in or whatever it might be. Was it the same picture that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie had out on the steps of the Capitol last week?
Yes, that's what we're looking at. Good job, Chris. Yes, very good. Yes. And I've actually got it up. I got it pulled up here right now. There's two pictures of him. Right here, the big hug or whatever, and here's him sharing the gavel here with him. And here's MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Thomas Massie standing out here in front of... but they are, a week ago, let me see when this was. Should have been about a week ago. Oh, okay, 6 days ago, a week ago. They're all about, get rid of Mike Johnson. And then whenever you flash back and then you see Marjorie Taylor Greene 19 hours ago, she's like, they're asking her, well, are you still going after him, so on and so forth? And she says, well, we're going to talk to him. So
I believe they had a meeting yesterday, and I believe it kind of ended with Marjorie Taylor Greene. I believe Thomas Massie was in there as well, kind of laying out a few demands they had for him. Nothing has been agreed to, but I did clock that earlier. Let me see if I can find this article. she wants no further aid for Ukraine, return to the Hastert rule, defunding the special counsel probes of President Trump, and enforcement of the Massey rule, which that's like the 1% cut if they don't get spending across the finish line before the deadline hits. So I believe that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything else after that. So I guess we're kind of looking to see what Mike Johnson says in response at this point.
Well, he already said, I mean, up to this point, Chris, man, I tell you what, you're sharper than you let on there, Mr. Chris, and I appreciate you. You hear me? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of my viewers, too, that'll feel the same way, but they'll let me know. I know. But and y'all make sure that to hit that like and subscribe button for me. I appreciate every one of them that's subscribed now. We're well over 1,000 now, so we're doing good. Matter of fact, you know, we're doing even better than our buddy Brad Winstrip subscribers here. I don't know if you're aware of how many he has or not, but if you want, leave him a message that, you know, all he has to do is start helping us get our country back, because we think that it's great that he is all about, you know, the vid and all that stuff, and we really do appreciate that. But one of the things that I wanted to get to, though, is he went after Cuomo, that's in New York, and I want to point this out because it's very important, Chris. Whenever you call a representative or somebody, and I have them do it all the time, we're getting ready. We're going to call some more. I'm going to start just calling everybody. There was a low-life piece of no good, worthless liberal-crat that goes by, what's his name? Brown? Old Sherlock Brown there. Sherwood B. Brown. I called his office, and they wound up hanging up on me. And I'm still looking for, twice, and I'm still looking for somebody to tell me, like, what the repercussion is for hanging up on, one of we the people whenever we call in our representatives and stuff like this. Because they are all, listen to what I'm telling you, they are all our representatives, even the President of the United States. Now, they may have leadership qualities and abilities, and they may do some leading, like in their office with the people we provided to them, but they are not our leaders. We're not aliens. We are Americans. And we have, just like right now, Chris, the answering machine right there. We got him in there, and we are paying these guys one way or the other, whether it's knowledge or whether it's financial or both, whatever. But they're gaining experience for being there. They're getting paid to be there, and they are there to help the representative that we elected. Now, let me tell you again about what makes a democracy and a republic a republic. Now, you know, nobody has simplified it as simple as I'm about to put it, but this is what it boils down to. Okay, a democracy means the majority, 51 people out of 100 votes, let's go right, then you go right. Okay, that's the way it is. Okay, in a republic, you have these representatives like Brad Winstrip. So instead of like you going up and saying, okay, here's a vote, and you get up to the 51 votes, and so on and so forth, then instead of you directly going and it's the majority gets their way, then you go to your representative. So you got like this mediator, that takes our vote or what we want to Congress. And I got to tell you, it doesn't work so damn good. It's not working. This just ain't working. Because this is why that we keep demanding that Brad talk to us here in the 2nd District that elected him, and we can't even get an answer back on that. So it don't work. So we're going to have to change some things, or we're going to have to start applying the pressure and hold their feet to the fire, to the heat, and find out. And this is why you're talking to me right now, Chris, is because the system is not working. Why is it not working? Is it not set up right? I don't think that's it. Is it that we have the wrong people in there? Yep, I think that's it. Yep, I know that's it. So if we have the wrong people in there, guess what? Some people's got to go. And what Brad and everyone in government is not understanding is there is like so much stuff right now, his head ought to be swimming. I know mine is. Because do you think that just because we're here in the 2nd District of Ohio, Southern Ohio, by the way, for all yous out there, do you think that everything that's happening when we watch or we see or we hear something, do you really, really think that we just stay right here in Southern Ohio and the rest of the world doesn't matter to us? It absolutely does. It affects us. We know that. Because when they say that there is a supply problem in the supply chain or whatever, we know that getting certain products or something eventually is going to hurt us. When we start hearing about, OPEC did this or they had a cyber attack or something like that, we know it's going to affect us. But whenever it does, nobody says, hey, we know that we screwed up and we know that we messed up, so we're gonna throw some money your way, or we're gonna, because it doesn't work like that. It can't work like that. But you have to get this country back under God. This is why it's so messed up. It's messed up because we don't have the belief that we used to have. Well, I mean, a lot of them don't. I do. I have more of a belief now than I ever did. And if you ever want to see prophecy fulfilled, that Bible that they are working so hard on banning everywhere, which, correct me if I'm wrong here, Chris, but isn't that banned in all the schools across America?
The Bible specifically?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I mean, obviously, religion's not allowed to be taught in public schools. I'm going to be honest here, I did not go to a public school for high school or grade school, so I wouldn't really, I grew up going to school with Bibles because I went to Catholic school.
Oh, yeah.
So
sorry about that.
Be able to give you a definitive answer on if they're allowed in the library per se. I mean, I can certainly give it a quick Google.
You said that you went to Catholic school. I said sorry about that. So, I didn't know if you heard me or not, but I was just pulling your chain on that one. Yeah, I was trying to lighten this up just a little bit, but we really don't have time for that. But you've got to do something, or this will absolutely, get a hold on you and just. You find yourself shaking your head no. For what reason? Pick one. Pick 12. Pick 100. There's so many things right now. The deadly virus that everybody needs to be worried about are the sickos out there. The real genuine sickos, They're out there. There's plenty of them. Especially if you go to Athens, Plains, Ohio. You'll find plenty of them there. But I'm telling you, and I'm not talking about the students neither. I'm going to tell you, you know what? I'll jump on that a little bit real quick. Athens, all of those students and stuff that I talked to, all of them that I talked to actually was really cool. And guess what? They wasn't from there, and they couldn't wait to get away from there. And amazing people. Amazing. But they are going into the devil's pit to get their education and stuff, and they don't even understand they're being indoctrinated by sick stuff. Now people will say, well, what about being a Christian? Isn't that kind of indoctrination or whatever? Nope. No, it isn't. It's a free choice to take life for eternity. So it's a wonderful thing. If you're actually saved, I mean, somebody's got to tell me, who do you want to live next to? And because it's already played out now, we already know the answer to this. You want to live next to a Christian who says, hey, let's do the right thing, let's do good for people, let's help our neighbor, let's, make your own way, be self-reliant, help those in need, don't kill people, so on and so forth. Or do you want to live next to someone? I'm telling you, if you guys haven't checked out, what's that King's guy name? He was it's something King. I can't remember his name right now, but he is a ex high priest or something in the what's the name of him now? Anyway, the devil worshiping and all that stuff. And he will absolutely, Gnome's looking it up right now as we speak there. But his name's King, amazing man. And he actually said something that I'm going to throw on here real quick, Chris. He figured it out. He said something which is very good. And I think it's amazing that he figured this out. It really helped me. And I changed my mind about it too. But when these people are saying, hey, I sold my soul, there's nothing I can do, so I'm going to keep doing it like Taylor Swift and all of them, let me tell you, he said you can't sell what's not yours, and that's right. But the devil is such a great deceiver that he deceives people. He's really, see, when the Bible says, when God says, you better listen, but it says he is a great deceiver. So, listen to that. When it says that he is a great deceiver, that means he's a great deceiver. And look at all the people. But he had them convinced that, what's his name? No? Just tell me his name so I don't have to put my glasses on.
I can't see his name on there. That's just the channel that he's on.
What's the channel? We'll just tell the channel. But he says, let's see, Satanic High Wizard exposes the secret of the, let's see, it'll probably tell his name here. We'll dive in here a little bit more. But he said you can't sell what is not yours, your soul. But these people were convinced that they sold their soul, so they was like, well, I already sold my soul, so I might as well, like Bob Dylan and all of them. But you know what? That's not true. It's never too late to turn around. Never too late, no matter who you are. So, but he turned his life around and he's exposing. And I'm telling you, if you want to watch somebody, oh my gosh, this guy is amazing. And I don't know why. See, this is how the devil works. Is he doesn't want us expose or telling you his name, but it's King. And just so you know, here I'll show. Oh, Zachary King. Zachary King, there it is. Can you see that? No. Zachary King.
Here, sir.
Oh, you got it, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I encourage you.
On YouTube, I assume.
Yeah. I encourage you to check that guy out whenever you get a moment, Chris. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, it's a gift from the Lord that he had this guy here. He found his way. And so many people now understand that just because you said or you think that you sold your soul or something like that, it's not yours to sell. The devil is trying to dupe you. Don't buy into that. So, anyway. So,
Well, I'll be happy to check that out. And I'll be happy to pass your thoughts along to the congressman. You've covered quite a lot of ground here, Mr. Preston, but I've got it all written down, and I'll be sure to pass that along to the congressman for you. Do you have anything else you'd like me to mention, or?
I do. Stay with me just a minute here, and I'll let you go here in just a second. There was something else I wanted to... Hold on just a second here. Let's see. Oh, these 5G towers and stuff that they have up, that they say is, that it's not harmful and stuff. It is harmful. We need for Brad to jump in and have these 5G towers and stuff eliminated, terminated, taken down, scrapped, or whatever needs to happen. They need to be turned off. It's proven. There's the guy that actually created and understands microwaves and all that stuff said undoubtedly that these same things were used, and they would point them at people and make them sick, and then some of them would wind up with cancers and all kinds of bad stuff or whatever. And you can look that up on your own. But also this judge and stuff like that that's going after our President Trump, all of these people need to be looked in here, because I started to point out this earlier. When you have Brad Wenstrup that's looking at people that's from New York, and I'm talking about Cuomo, okay, well, that's not in 2nd District, is it? Nope. And this is when I said that the things that affect us here in Ohio is the same thing affecting people in California, which needs a lot of help, man. That Newsom out there, man, that's the devil right there in a suit. But we definitely have to have Brad like jumping in on so many different things. And for these people to say, well, that's out of our district, or that's not our district, or something like that. It's all our district. And the health, one world health thing or whatever, who come up with that? Who decided that? Why are we taking anything from a world source or something like that? Who made up this nonsensical bullshit garbage? That is so absolutely, every one of us out here that I have talked to that's wrote to me and told me and stuff, which it was brought to my attention by a couple of people out there. But why is it that they just say, well, the World Health Organization says to do this, and then you'll watch Biden and the rest of them, they just start like buying into it like we're supposed to do whatever some World Health or... No, we are the United States of America. We have our country here. And we've been sticking our nose in to all these foreign places and everything else, like this $95 billion, and did you know that they are already, and I'm talking about Ukraine, already asking for more money? They said that by the end of the summer, they'll need more money. So it's not going to stop. This is never ending. But it's going to stop because there is an end, and it has to be brought to an end. And we know what's happening. See, like right now, Chris, listen to what I'm telling you, all of yous out there. Okay, they have us like squabbling about this and squabbling about that, while these people with a whole bunch of money, I mean, that we can't even, old Charles Schwab or whatever his name is, the skin bag, and then Larry Fink from BlackRock, and all of them, they already said that they have to go look it up. Larry Fink said, we have to change. We'll change them. We'll change the way that the people are. We're going to change the way the people are. Like their rules and the regulations and laws and stuff like that. We'll change it. We'll tell them what they're going to eat. We'll make them eat bugs. Go look into your food. If you see something that says bioengineered, what is it, no? What's bioengineered?
Bioengineered is where they put the cricket flour and all kinds of other stuff in the food.
Causing all kinds of problems. You got the DHCs and the TBSs and everything else that they put in our food. It's nothing but garbage. And again, that's coming from Monsanto's. Now, Chris, you know what? I was going to let you off here about the same time right now anyway, because I'm just nice like that. But you had one glitch in our whole conversation, is when you tried to bail on me. I wished you wouldn't have done that. But outside of that, it was a pleasure speaking with you. I pray for you. I'm praying for all of you out there. I know that what you're doing right now is a very hard job, a difficult job to do. But we so appreciate you, and I can tell that you're paying attention to what's going on in our world and in our country, and I thank you for your input and your patience.
Well, I appreciate that, sir. Happy to chat, and I'll be sure to pass this along to the congressman for you.
All right, thank you so much.
Yep, have a good one.
God bless. All right, so, you know, it's really difficult to try to cover so many things or whatever, and if you want to see something else here, let me find this one thing that I wanted you guys to see. Matter of fact, I think it's right here. If this is the one, that's not it. Let's go down here. 'Cause I so want you guys to see this. It's absolutely just unbelievable, the stuff that's happening. Let's see. Yeah. Check this out right here. It starts right off the bat. So let me turn this up first so you can hear it.
My partner, she stole my heart the first time we locked eyes. She looked at
We're worried about you. And it's a full court press of ugly out there right now. Did you guys hear what that guy just said? If you missed it, just make sure you go watch that. If you just
Let me see if I can. Here you go. All right, here we go. Listen to this.
Hey, all right, I'm going to start off the little show tonight with a little filler.
The name of this I think it's Off Grid with Doug and somebody or whatever.
Right.
It's all right. It could be 4 minutes early. We've been 4 minutes late. What's the problem? Here's something else. Oh, my goodness. All right. I'm going to start off with a little beginner filler here. You ready?
We're ready, man. Lay it on us.
All right.
In 1960, and I specialized in microwave warfare. Radar, obviously, which is
Okay, he's saying that he specialized in microwave radar.
microwave. But they don't just teach you radar, they teach you all about microwaves and other uses. So I understood about microwave warfare and how it can damage people, how it can harm people. Microwaves then were used as weapons, as they are today. It is a perfect stealth weapon. And when governments don't like a group of people, for instance, the ladies who protested Greenham Common in England about the American missile base they camped, they were microwaved.
They were microwave. American missile base.
We microwave Catholics in Northern Ireland.
Catholics, Northern Ireland.
It goes all over the world. And it's a weapon that you don't know you're being targeted.
You don't know you're being targeted. So, right here, you got all these 5G towers and stuff.
Because the dose is very, very low, which is
The dose is very, very low.
actually more dangerous than a
It's more dangerous. Low doses.
high dose. It's very, very low, and it may take a year or two, but you can cause neurological damage and cancers with low-level microwaves, and you can make all your
So he said neurological and brain
opponents sick. It's a perfect weapon for a government.
cancer.
Man, you guys picking that up? 5G makes sense now, right? Everybody.
So, he's exactly right, because I know people who actually was not around towers or anything like that, and then they actually signed agreements and stuff to have towers put right up next to their house and stuff. And wouldn't you know, wasn't no time they was having to sell, or they just abandoned their house and bought someplace else. And they actually took the money and then put in the very thing. So they sold their health, and they didn't even realize they was doing that. But they always tell us, oh, this is good, but it winds up not being good at all. But there is just so much stuff right now. We all got to pay attention. We all got to watch one another. Hey, keep getting interrupted by phone calls and stuff like that. So we're going to take some phone calls, and we'll go ahead and jump off here. We're going to check that out. It's probably one of you's calling me with some new information or something. So God bless America. God bless you and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks for praying for us. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Call your representative 202-224-3121. Peace out.